Good Thursday evening to you, everyone. How are you? It is good to see you, and it is good to be seen by you. I hope you are doing excellent this evening. Michael, Dale, Daniel, Rowan, good to see you guys out there in audience land. And me, I, of course, am Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver, coming to you live on a Thursday. Guys, we are almost there. Damien247. We are almost there. It is almost Friday. And of course, you know what Friday brings. But before we get into that, before we launch into this thing, if you would please, if you haven't already, if you like the content around here, if you enjoy the stuff we do, click the subscribe button. Please click the bell icon for notifications about this and all the wonderful, cool things that we do around here, because we live stream 5 nights. We, like, there's a whole bunch of me. I live stream 5 nights a week. But we do live plays of first edition advanced Dungeons and Dragons on Tuesday. Sometimes Kyle has a little something for us on Wednesday, and on Fridays, that's tomorrow night for the calendar challenged, we play classic Gamma World, and we have a lot of fun doing it. There are interviews like the one I hope's coming up tonight. We do kind of interstitial videos, newsy things of interest to you, with a focus and a flair on things that are going to appeal to you, the old school gamer. So welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome. Now, preparations for GWOC go on steadily. What is the GWOC, you might ask? That is the Great Underground Online Gaming Convention. That's right. That is a gaming con where we get together and we play tabletop RPGs in a virtual environment right on Discord. You don't have to drive. You don't have to fly. You don't have to bus, walk, train, boat, mole machine. You do not have to employ an apparatus of Qualish to reach the GWOC, because it's out there. You might need a machine of Lum the Mad. You sign up on Discord. You look at our list of games, and you sign up for those games. All you need is a microphone. You don't need a fancy studio setup. Just a way to listen and a way to look. So I hope everyone out there, you're thinking of running a game or playing in a game. We've got merch. We've got a bunch of panelists this year, which I'm super duper excited about. Folding boat. You don't even need a folding boat. And there's no inn, hostel, hotel, flop house, Airbnb, rental, trailer, shack, lean-to, tent, yurt, which is a fun word to say. None of that is required. You do it all from the comfort of your own home, or the bus to work, or if you got one of those self-driving cars. I don't recommend you do that. You can do it all from the comfort of what you like. And the cost, now that's where things get sticky, because the cost is $0 to you. It's $0 to come and play at the Great Underground Online Gaming Con, which really, it pays for itself. So I hope you'll come, and I hope you'll check that out. I'm real excited about it. My Led Zeppelin t-shirt is real excited about it, and the mic boom is real excited about it. All of those things mean that you need to be there. And when is it, you may ask? Why, it is from May 21st to May 25th. That's right. Five, count them, 5 days of classic TTRPG fun. And I think you're going to have a pretty good time. Do we have merch? Yes, we do. The merch isn't free. I couldn't cut a deal with the good people at Teespring to just give us free merch. They're not going to do that. They're But Dungeon Minister will be hosting it. I will share the link to his spring store when he activates. So, of course, is the American Sign Language for activate, I think. That, or I'm about to do applause at a DSA convention. You know, when they were like twinkle down, twinkle up. No, that was Occupy. Anyway, that's as close as you'll ever hear about politics on this show. So, you can get merch as soon as it gets updated. I will let you guys know what the link to the merch store is for that. We've had a pretty good week so far. You know, all things being equal, given how my week started, this week's gone about as well as it can. And to that end, I do want to mention that the Hound, he's doing pretty good. He's doing pretty good. He's eating, he's drinking, he's going outside and doing his business. He is able to walk slowly, carefully, still stumbles a little bit, fell over on his side today, but nothing major, nothing terrible. He's getting there. He's getting there. So, thank you everyone for your outpouring of sympathy and support for the Delver's dog, Mr. Zeus himself. So, I thank you guys. I tell you what, I have a meeting, not a meeting, a meeting. Yes. You know, bring your papers in and we'll look over them. I have an appointment, follow-up on Friday. That's tomorrow, by the way. Unless you live across the international date line, then it's later today. I have an appointment at the vet tomorrow with him, a follow-up, just to see how he's doing, just to see how he's feeling. I think we're gonna get passing grades. And you know, as I said, Saturday, on a scale of 1 to 100, he was about a 4, with 1 being worst, 100 being best. Right now, I think he's at like a 55, which is certainly, I mean, on a grading scale, that's not passing, but in the overall, it's way better. I think he's once again dodged a bullet. So I'm excited about I'm excited about his recovery. And look, let's just get real here for a second. Let's just get in touch with reality. Set aside all the snappy pitter patter, you know, where I throw a bunch of $5 words and Letterman-esque pauses and so on. At his age, I know he doesn't have a tremendously long amount of time before he moves on. I just want a little bit longer. I just want a little bit longer with him, you know. So I really appreciate everybody who's been helping out. Now, one thing that I've talked about to kind of help out, because that vet bill, emergency vet bill. Call my jets. Okay. Anybody who's out there getting ready to, you know, super chat your house payment to me this month or what have you. The thing that I'm going to be doing here is, for those of you who have, Vinny, you're fired, by the way. You're fired. Pack up your desk and leave. The ghost tour of Inverness. I'm going to tell Alan Hammock that you did that. Anyway, so what I'm going to be doing is, you know, and I was going to start running test prints like this week, but it's actually, it's going to be a little cold to be doing printing. So I'm going to wait till probably the end of next week. What I'm going to be doing is, if you guys remember the Beholders, the Owl Bears, the, what was it? The Beholders, the Owl Bears, and what else? The Great Green Devil Face wall from Tomb of Horrors. I'm going to be doing limited print runs of those again. I'm going to be doing print runs of those again. It'll be a little bit bigger than the first time, when I think I was doing like 10 or 15 or 20 or something like that. But I will do it the same way I did before. And I'm home kit bashing an Umber Hulk to include in that set. So what is going to be going on will be, I will basically take letters of intent to purchase. And when I fill all the categories, then I will start doing the prints. When all the prints are done, I will reach out to those who wish to purchase the items, and then I will start shipping them. I do not want money until I start shipping. Let me see, because I don't know. Pictures, let's see. Let me see if I have. I might not. I might not have the pictures here on this PC of what exactly I'm after, or what exactly I mean when is it here? No. Maybe it's on the desktop. I'm looking on the desktop. You know, there's an Inverness of Florida. I should see if there's any famously haunted places, and then go up there and start the ghost tour of Inverness. I don't think. Okay, I was hoping. You know what? There's one more place I can look. View. Let's do extra large icons. I was hoping. Is it under Hall? It's not under Hall. Okay, so I will start showing. I will start showing images of the prints, because with the exception of the kit bash of the Umber Hulk that I'm going to be doing, everything I have pictures of before. I have a it is basically the Tom Wham Beholder from the Monster Manual, and yes, it's a 3D print. It's not like an embossed thing. It's an actual 3D Tom Wham Beholder. I have an Owl Bear set that is the original D&D Owl Bear, the Chinasaur Owl Bear, and of course the 1E Monster Manual Owl Bear, and the Great Devil Face wall, of course, that Sphere of Annihilation trap from S1 Tomb of Horrors. The one that Dave Trampier did, not the one that Tracy Lesh did, unfortunately. I don't have a Tracy Lesh sculpt on that. And as I said, I'll be kit bashing an Umber Hulk myself. So all of that will come together, and I will recollect those photos and share them with you guys, so you'll be able to see what you're going to get. Because I think I think the minis in question are actually pretty darn awesome. You can paint them up, terrify your players with them. And I tell you what, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sweeten the deal. I am going to sweeten the deal. The Beholder set will include a Tom Wham Beholder and a copy of the Grenadier Beholder. That's right. I have an STL of the original Grenadier Beholder, and it's not going to show up well for you guys. I don't know why I'm bothering to do this, but if you know the one I'm talking about, it is this charming fellow right here. I printed one for myself a while ago. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, you guys can't see Jack. Sorry. But yes, the Beholder set will include both. It will include both. If you bought Beholders from me before, I will make this one available to purchase. Just let me know, because I've got your name on file. I will throw that one in. So, so if you buy a whole Beholder set, or you just want to purchase that guy because you bought Beholders before, it'll be available for you. Tony Wagenhauser, the Beholder sets will probably run $30. For that, you're going to get one Tom Wham Beholder and one Grenadier Beholder. And what I am going for is, I would like to hit 100 pre-sales for the Beholders. Probably fewer for the Umber Hulks. Umber Hulks are nice, but they're a little less iconic. So the Umber Hulks, you know, maybe 20 Umber Hulks. I've already got 2 orders for Umber Hulks. I don't have any good Orc STLs. The set of Owl Bears will be a little bit more expensive because it is 3 miniatures. I haven't settled on a price for that yet. Probably 45 for all 3. That's 15 a piece. And the I'm going blank here, guys. I'm sorry. The Devil Face walls, I will probably top that out at 25 because those come painted. Yes, I paint them. You get the full great green devil face just like this. Let's jump back in. I think that actually shows up pretty well. So I personally, I think it's better than the one that Wizards put out with their Tomb of Annihilation mini set, how many ever years ago. You're all in, let you know, you'll hit me up. Okay. It is a pretty good price, I think. Now, believe it or not, this one that I hold up, this is mine. This is filament printed. When I found this STL, when I went hunting D&D STLs, when I first got my filament printer, like, I don't know, 5 years ago now, I was like, there's no way I'm going to get something this cool out of my filament printer. And I did. And even filament printed, these look awesome. So, yeah. I will let you guys know the amounts. Like I said, the Beholders is going to be a big order. And I'm kind of hype about it. But the way it's going to work is when I hit the number of orders, for them, then, and only then, do I start printing. And in the case of the Great Devil Faces, start painting. We're still waiting on our guest, by the way. They haven't arrived. That would make an awesome lapel pin, wouldn't it? I could just do the back flat, put a place to glue, like a little troika of pins, and then you just wear that. I'm gonna do that. That's awesome. That's awesome. That is incredible. And you know what? You know what? If you want this as a pin, let me know. Let me know. We'll work something out. I'll figure out with the missus how to make these into pins, and you can let me know, and we'll go there. The goal, Vinny, and I think there will probably be people who are interested in this. The goal will be 100 beholders, which is a lot. I know. I am not running a Photon 10K orbital air. I am running a so out of production the company that makes it barely exists anymore. FlashForge Photo 8.9 that I got for $149. Yes, a 9-inch 3D printer for $149. I was like, that's mine, yoink. I bought it a long time ago. Idea stolen, Jorge. And yeah, that company, like FlashForge, I was like, oh, I should buy these spare parts one day. Just kind of sandbag some spare parts for my 3D printer. And I didn't, because it's always like, I'll get it next month. Whatever. And now it's like you go to FlashForge's website and they have 2 filament printers that they sell. That's it. If you Google the printer, you can get to the product page. If you Google spare parts, it will take you to the product catalog page. None of them work, and if you click any info links, it just dumps you back to the main page. So yeah, what's that pin about? Put your finger in and find out. I like it. I like it a lot, actually, Jorge. So anyway, yes, 100 beholders. Probably 25 owlbear sets, 25 walls. And what else? 25 owlbears, 25 walls, maybe 25 Umber Hulks. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So while I'm waiting on our guest to arrive, they have not arrived yet, obviously. The pin of annihilation. I like it. But while we're waiting on them to arrive, let's take a quick gander. I want to look at this real quick. I think this is pretty spiffy. Let's look at their Kickstarter. Now, one thing, and we can talk about this when they get here. Oh, Jack, that's brilliant. Neodymium magnet to the back of the print saves the trouble of a broken pin down the road. And you won't drop it and step on it. I like that. I actually have a lot of tiny magnets I could do that with. Yes. Yes. You know what it is, don't you, boy? Anyway, so Risa, who you guys have seen in the audience when we've had Aggie and when we've had Matt Finch on the show, Risa, she is a cheerleader for many awesome things. So she reached out to me and said, hey, I've got some friends who've got a Dark Fantasy, And what that means and what that entails, we'll find out when we talk to them. Um, Greek mythos RPG that they're kicking off. Now it's for 5th edition, but do not let your grognard sensibility almonds be activated. Rather let this embiggen ideas, because let me tell you something. Greek myth has been a part of the tapestry of Dungeons and Dragons going to pre Dungeons and Dragons history time. There are Medusae and Minotaurs, Harpies and Pegasi. And I think hippogriffs are hippogriffs Greek? Somebody check me on that. But I know there are the other 4 in chainmail. They're in chainmail. No more apples in the vending machine. Who keeps putting this in here? Anyhow, so I mean, OD&D had, again, stats for Medusae, stats for Minotaurs. Gods, Demigods, and Heroes hit in 76. And it's got the Greek gods fully detailed in all their hubris. Hang on one second, guys. Hang on one second, gang. I'll be right back. I have too many dice in too many places for you to hide. All right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, hey, it's Zeus, and if he needs a little attention from somebody, I like to jump in and help. Anyway, at any rate, we were talking about Greek influences, Greek myth influences in Dungeons and Dragons. The best selling and arguably best Dungeons and Dragons module, Keep on the Borderlands, features not 1, not 2, but 3 staples of Greek myth in it. We have a Minotaur. We have a labyrinth that the Minotaur is in. And we have a Medusa. If all of those 3 staples of Greek myth right there in Keep on the Borderlands. So there's a lot to say about Greek myth influences in D&D. So when Risa reached out to me and pointed me at Black Lantern Studios here, I took a look at it and I said, we, you, me, them, we're all pretty smart cookies when it comes to the matter of taking stuff for other editions and then, using them for our own stuff. And 5e is lightweight enough that removing things. And let me tell you something. I did the conversion work for many modules for Gaxland Game, for Heidi and Eric. And guys, it does not take a lot of heavy lifting to convert something from 5e to 1e or even OD&D. Not your Echo, just you sit in the back. You sit in the back. I'll magic use your dwarves. Anyhow, so I took a look at the Kickstarter, and I hope hope that they arrive soon. And I think, well, let's share it a little bit. Let's take a look at what they've got going on, and we can talk to them hopefully when they arrive. So this is it. This is the title is Immortals, Hubris, and Glory. Now it is for 5e, but this is the part that intrigues me. Dark Fantasy. Now, because when you say dark fantasy to me, my brain immediately goes to something like Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, a decidedly dark fantasy game. Because, it's right on the cover. Right on the cover of this, it says, A Grim World of Perilous Adventure. So that is what I tend to think of. So I'm keen to know. I'm keen to know what they mean by dark fantasy. So let's scoot down just a little bit and take a look at it. It's a gorgeous looking set. I got to tell you that. Although I will say this, just between you and me, don't tell them when they get here. I myself, the spiky dice look nice, look cool, like in cheesecake shots on the table and stuff. I would not roll spiky metal dice in my Dwarven Forge. Never, never, never. But it's a pretty cool looking set. You get a GM screen, you get a map, of course, of ancient Greece. You got your rule books there, some beautiful looking art. So, welcome to Immortals, a dark fantasy campaign setting that paints a grim reimagining of ancient mythic Greece based on the 5e system and written by the Greek studio of Black Lantern. Now, I gotta say, I gotta say this. The Greek myths are pretty dark and grim by themselves, I mean, let's take the poor Medusa. Poseidon tries to surprise snuggle her. She runs into a temple, begs Athena for help, and Athena puts snakes on her head and makes her so ugly she turns men to stone. That's pretty grim. That's pretty dark. Zeus, the god, not my dog, had a tendency to get every paramour of his killed, unalived, usually by his wife. And don't even get me started with their whole thing with the Titans, not the AD&D Titans, which also exist. Is it a Greek setting created by Greeks? It is, Jorge. It's Greekception. Blah. Don't tell them I said that. Harpies, right. There's very little happy stuff that goes on. I can honestly think the one single solitary story in Greek myth, the only one that doesn't make you just go, oh, Well, I don't want to sound too harsh, but I think everyone involved in this story should die. Is that a Pygmalion? And if you don't know the story of Pygmalion, briefly, he was a sculptor who was driven to create the most beautiful sculpture that he possibly could. So he bade he bade Aphrodite in her temple to come down and pose for him. And she did, and he made a number of small kind of study sculptures of her to work from. And he found a flawless piece of marble. And day and night and day, he would work on this sculpture. Until finally, it was perfect. She shows up and is like, that is the most beautiful thing I've seen that's not me. And the more he worked on this sculpture, the more he fell in love with the sculpture. Not with Aphrodite, with the sculpture. And so she said, you've done such a wonderful job. This is such a wonderful icon to me and my awesomeness, my awesome beauty. What would you like? I will grant you any wish. And he stepped up on the pedestal of the sculpture and he put his arms around it and he placed his lips on the statue's lips and said, turn me to marble too, so I can spend an eternity with her, because there's no living woman like this. I would rather be turned to stone forever. And the spell she cast turned the statue to a living being who was immediately aware of Pygmalion's love for her. And she said, I think it's a little better this way, don't you? A wife to love and cherish rather than you being turned to stone. And then she said, his bachelor pad really stinks, like actually smells bad. Clean him up. And so that was it. That is the only happy Greek myth that I can think of. Bad stuff happens to everybody else. And if somebody out there tells me, oh yeah, but if you continue reading so-and-so, you find out that Pygmalion, blah, 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 I don't want to hear it. All right. It's a sweet, sappy love story, and I actually like it. Actually, the one about Atlantea and the golden apples isn't too bad either, but she does murder a whole bunch of people before she is finally satisfied with someone. Exactly, drama goblins. It was uncharacteristically kind of any of the gods. Any of them. Oh, Pygmalion was not an ugly old man. Pygmalion was that's kind of one of the underlying themes of it, is that lots of women in his town want Pygmalion because he's young and handsome and strong, because he works with marble all day and he lifts it, and he does not skip arm and ab day. Let me tell you what, he works out in the sun, so he's bronzed and everything like that, and he is quite the prize. But all he cares about is his art. He does not, like, he just turns the women away and tells them, go on about yourself. But yeah, no, it would have been on brand for her to say, I will turn you to dust and your sighs will forever fill the beaches of the world. And as you are dust, you will be blown back and forth until you erode this statue away. How dare you try and make something as good looking to me? Nope, it is a happy story. Oh, and she tells him to take the little clay statues he made and tells he and her, take them to my temple and leave them as offerings for me. They will adorn my temple. They are that lovely. literally the only good Greek story. So, dark myth, I do wonder about. But anyways, join the world. Delve into a land where myth and horror dance together. Explore a vast and rich wilderness full of dangerous beasts and fabled relics. Battle with Titan minions. Defend Olympus or assist in its destruction. I'm raising my hand in case you guys can't see in the thumb. Defy Kronos and Zeus, not Zeus, my dog, alike, and carve your own path to immortality. And we have an individual there. Yeah, she's holding someone's head in a rather suggestive way. Why back, Immortals? Journey through the darkest pages of Greek mythology imbued with a strong dose of fantasy elements. A completely new magic system. Forget about spell levels and spell slots. The new magic system uses just D6s and is way more friendly. That sounds kind of interesting. Let's see. Introducing the Hubris and Glory system, bound to enhance both combat and social gameplay. Pave your path to immortal fame or suffer the consequences of your hubris. Delve, into the underworld, including the realm of Hades and depths of Tartarus. Reclaim your fallen comrades and adventure among the dead. Enhanced sea traveling with rules for traveling, hazards, naval combat, and options for seafaring heroes. There is a quick start you can grab right there. It's linked on the page. The loot. Discover everything this project offers, and of course, I think we're gonna get into that. I think with them when they arrive. Yes, some delicious Tartarus sauce. A little bit of pickle, a little bit of mayonnaise. Just kind of mix that up. It's for your fish and chips. Anyway, so it looks like a banger of a game there. There's 8 days left to go, 605 backers. They've done pretty good for themselves. So hopefully they will be joining us. Some horseradish. Do you do horseradish with your tartar sauce? I don't. I'm not saying you're wrong to. I've never heard of seasoning your tartar sauce with horseradish. It's just a pickle and mayonnaise kind of thing for me for tartar sauce, which isn't actual proper tartar sauce. You know what tartar sauce is. You don't eat tartar sauce, and that's fine. That's fine. I will tell you this: our local, there are actually several around town, but there's a really good expat Irish eatery called Fiddler's Green, and they make a remoulade that they serve with their fish and chips that is just mwah. It is just delicious, and I absolutely love it. So do recommend. Okay. Let's try that. But anyhow, so we will hopefully be seeing them shortly. Now, of course, we all know that the Greek gods got full stats in the in deities and demigods. It's one of the few things that the Blooms didn't take a razor blade to. And I love Jim Rosloff's artwork. Why don't we take a look at that? Why don't I pull that up? Do you guys want to have a quick gander at deities and demigods and look at the Greek myths there? We can open that. We have the PDF of the unexpurgated deities and demigods. Here we go. Now I will be the first person to say that I don't like. You will never hear me say, "Yay, piracy! Let's do piracy." By which I mean put on a black patch and raise the skull and crossbones and sail the Caribbean, looting treasure, and that is all that I mean. But this book The Unexpurgated Deities and Demigods is pure unobtainium. You cannot get copies of this anywhere, nor will you ever be able to get copies of this. Go find the PDF of this. It is available on just about every website. There is a wonderful, crispy, clean scan. We have referred to it before here on the show, so I do heartily recommend that you hop on and you check it out. So let's have a look. Present, share screen, share screen. So here we have the Greek myths, and we have some great artwork. This is the late great Jim Rosloff bringing the gorgeous artwork here. Zeus, 400 hit points, 2 attacks for 6 to 60, plus 14. Ouch. So that's 20 to 84 points of damage, twice. This always cracked me up. Chaotic good. Boys and girls, Zeus is a lot of things. He ain't good. And I would have clocked him in most of the Greek gods as chaotic neutral. But Zeus is a 25th level cleric, a 17th level fighter, and a 20th level magic user illusionist. Oh, and 15th level bard. Let's just throw that in there as well. Appears as a human bearded male of powerful physique. He often shape changes. He disdains use of armor, but will use a +5 shield, his Aegis. Zeus is able to simultaneously attack and cast a 30-point lightning bolt each melee round. He wields a spear that does 6 to 60 points of damage. I think it's lightning bolt and spear, not 2 6 to 60 attacks. Which Deities and Demigods book is unobtainable? The edition that still has the cataloged works of H.P. Lovecraft and of Michael Moorcock included. They're selling all his D&D stuff on eBay. Yeah, unfortunately, Diomedes' shield is not listed as a magic items. Judy Dench's fish and chips. Oh, yeah. Hey, Rob Turner, thanks for dropping by. We're just kind of hanging out here in the chat. Looking at Greek gods in AD&D. But Aegis is listed. The magical shield can throw fear into the heart of any being coming within 10 yards of it. If they do not make their save versus spells, it is a +5 shield, and the fear ability must be activated by the desire of the holder. It also has a power to form itself into a displacer cloak with the same fear power at a word command. Its primary owner is Zeus, though Athena often has custody of it. It is used by Zeus in all of his major battles, although very occasionally he lends it to mortals he favors. If Zeus favors you, turn and run. They have his white eagle listed there. His 2015 Jeep Eagle. Oh, you have the Hermes from Deities and Demigods on your shoulder. Very cool, very cool. Let's keep checking this out here now. There she is, Aphrodite. The scan on the screen does not do Jim Rosloff's artwork any justice, so I won't zoom into it. But Aphrodite, goddess of love, beauty, and passion. Strange kind of love. Any relationship you'd get in with Aphrodite is kind of the, you know, she was at the lounge all Friday night and came home and started throwing hands at you at like 1 a.m. You know, you're lying there asleep waiting for her to get home. That's Aphrodite's love for people, by and large, with the notable exception of Pygmalion. Yeah, hers was a love of self and a vanity. Exactly. All right, so she is armor class 4, 259 hit points. Special attack charm, no special defenses. Interesting. 50% magic resistant. That's not great. Again, chaotic good. She should be chaotic neutral. Her symbol is a seashell by the seashore. She's a 10th level cleric, 12th level magic user, 15th level illusionist. She is a 10th level bard. The goddess of love and beauty, Aphrodite's main ability is to generate strong passion in mortals and gods alike. Oh, and note her charisma is 25. In every one of her shape-changed forms, she is beautiful. She's able to charm either sex, and once a person has viewed her and not made their saving throw against her charm, they can never attack her again. The simple wave of her hand causes 1 to 10 hit points of pain to any who would harm her. No saving throw. Lovely woman. Smut, smut, smut. The boys are marching. You can't turn into a beautiful, ugly bastard. She'd figure out how to do it. Her clerics sacrifice doves to her every 10 days. Not a lot of pigeons on the Greek Isles. And objects of art and lovely pieces of jewelry are destroyed on her altar every new moon. However, the lapidaries do a brisk trade, I would imagine. All of her clerics must have 15 or greater charisma, and her male clerics must have a constitution of 16 or better. You heard her, boys. 16 or better. Aphrodite is an extremely vain and jealous goddess. If any character should unfavorably compare Aphrodite's charm to his or her own, there's a 10% chance that the goddess will hear and seek vengeance. So that's our ravishing Aphrodite. Maybe that's why the Greeks, they had so many earthquakes back in the day. Bitch. What? No, beach. I said we should go to the beach. Oh, we're doomed. Oh, she's a goddess of love. That's wonderful. No, it's not. But anyway, there's just a couple of the points about Greek gods. Now, there are heroes. And usually, again, if you know your way around Greek myths, you know that the heroes, they have it the worst. They have it the absolute worst. Because it's like, yeah, I'm going to slay the monster and accomplish the task and romance my lady and raise up a kid. You just turned them all into olive trees. Oh, and I'm blind now. Oh, and she was my mother. Oh my God. It's like, oh, come on. I get it that the Greek gods are supposed to be full of hubris and their foibles are supposed to be their own. But then they just absolutely wreck people. Keg Crusher 04, that's right. This is an amazing book. This is a PDF scan of the unexpurgated version. It is completely OCR'd, so go out and find a copy on like archive.org. Because it's too nice to not have one. And if Wizards of the Coast is never, now let me tell you what, if Wizards of the Coast announced tomorrow, hey, guess what? We're going to start selling physical copies of Deities and Demigods, the unexpurgated version for AD&D. We cut a deal, yada, whatever. I'd stop if somebody said, hey, Bill, where can I just want to download a PDF of the unexpurgated Deities and Demigods. I'd be like, well, I hope you find someone who can point you at it. But if they're gonna hold this one hostage, they've all got to get it. If they're gonna hold this book hostage, I'm gonna share it with everybody. Information wants to be free. Hey, Dungeon Minister is out there talking about Afro titties. I don't know what's going on, but tidy, Afro tidy. Oh, okay. Sorry, I misread that. Ah, there it is. This weekend, this Saturday, we have the Nerd Council of Doom. Myself, Yang Enzel, and Dungeon Minister, or alternately, if you like, Dungeon Minister, Yang Enzel, myself. Whatever order you want to put it in, I'm cool with. We will be right there over at the new channel for the Nerd Council of Doom. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys will join us. It's going to be hype. We got a new place. Guys, it smells like new carpet and new office furniture in our new studio. No. It's just us on a different channel. But it's nice to imagine. Got link. I do. I gotta find it real quick. Let me see here. Let me see. I gotta pull up the link. All right. I'm looking for hey, Dungeon Minister, if you have it, because I'm looking for the exact URL. I can't remember if we had it. Would you PM it to me on Discord real quick? Our new URL. Because these are all the old NCOD links. So please send me that link. I'm strongly thinking in 2025 of getting hardback or even softback repro copies of the Unexpurgated Deities and Demigods printed up. I mean, to me, it's the contents that matter. I'm not super duper concerned with, oh no, it's got to be able to fold over and everything. The idea of having a physical copy in one's hands. Very well, we'll remove the get it. Rip. I'm just scrolling back through here. By the way, so myself and Yang and Dungeon Minister were playing, we were playing 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon the other night. And the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, I entered Fritz Lieber. Fritz Lieber is 2 steps away from Kevin Bacon. I double checked the name. There's a website you can go to. There's a website you can go to where you can play the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon game. And I kept being like, surely I can stump this thing with some really obtuse people that I know of. So like Gary Gygax, 2 steps. Gary was in Futurama with Frank Welker, who was in Balto with Kevin Bacon. I was shocked by that. Yeah, Dungeon Minister was in a stage play with Mark Metcalf, who, of course, he's the he was in Animal House. He played Niedermeyer, the ROTC head, and then later it was essentially the same character and everything but name in the Twisted Sister videos for We're Not Going to Take It and I Want to Rock. It was Mark Metcalf going through this, his Niedermeyer character going through the same stuff in those videos as he went through in Animal House. The link between Gary and H.P. Lovecraft, that is a good one, Jorge. So the link between Gary and HPL is Gary was friends with Fritz Lieber. Fritz Lieber was friends with HPL. So that's one step removed, which means Gary was friends with Fritz Lieber. Fritz Lieber was friends with HPL. I was friends with Gary, which puts me Gary and Fritz and HPL. I am 3 steps removed from HPL, which means you guys are 4 steps removed from HPL. And I am 2 steps and you guys are 3 steps removed from Fritz Lieber. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, let's see. You're so proud Fleetwood incorporated Cthulhu into an English class, right? Yay! Yay, Fleetwood! Okay. That's why it wasn't working. Okay, guys. So Saturday, Baron Saturday. You know what that's from. Saturday, you want to go over to YouTube. Let's see. youtube.com at the Nerd Council of Doom. That is where you can find us. And in the darkness, bind us. In the land of Mordor. In the land of Dairy Queen, where the shadows lie. You cannot tell me that you have never made that joke before. In the land of Dairy Queen, where shadows lie. Yes, so please subscribe to us over there at the Nerd Council of Doom. Now, I believe that the way monetization, because I know you guys want to super chat us, monetization kicks in at 500 subs. I would love it if we could hit 500 subs real quick. And then you can watch myself and Yang and Dungeon Minister squabble over money. I'm kidding. I'm going to keep the money. They're not going to see it to squabble over. Gil Galad. No, Gil Galad played Buck Rogers in the 25th century, didn't he? Back in the 70s. That's Gil Gerard, you nitwit. Subs are free. Oh my God. At what sub shop? If it's the Publix deli counter. Have you got Publix up there? Wherever you are in the States, tell me right now. Do you have Publix? And why do you think it's the best sub ever anywhere? Anyone who says Jersey Mike's will have to super chat $20 to make up for that, because Jersey Mike's you. I'm sorry, Bob. Vinny, I know Georgia, you guys have got Publix. Best subs, right? Best subs. Oh, Dungeon Minister, no. Padre, no. That is an interesting opinion, but wrong, Robert Turner. So let's be moving along. Disco TV, Star Wars, robots. Yeah, friggin' disco sci-fi. You know, if my folks were still with us, not if I had 5 more minutes, because I wouldn't waste it doing that. If my folks were still with us, I would absolutely positively just take a moment to say, I'm sorry for making you guys watch Buck Rogers in the 25th century when I was a little kid. Oh boy. That is some disco sci-fi. The roller derby, Jorge? The roller derby stuff? Because, yeah, woo. The best subs are from an old school deli. Well, that's the way the Publix deli works. I mean, you go like you can go down, like, okay, I want you to make me a sub. Yeah, I want some of that like hot and spicy boar's head chicken. Put some of that Gruyere cheese on it. Toast it with some bacon and black olives. Then throw some sweet mustard on it, and do it on a 7-grain roll, et cetera, et cetera. You can just walk up and down the deli telling them to put stuff in. I've seen people buy crab salad and had just like the cold deli counter behind me. They'll buy a box of crab salad and be like, put this on that roll. I know. Pamela Hensley and Aaron Gray. I get it, right? I get it. I will say this: the vampire episode, when they started doing the ones where they were like flying out in a spaceship because their adventures on Earth kind of sucked. The space vampire episode of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century legitimately scared me because they hit it around the time that the Tobe Hooper version of Salem's Lot was right in our young zeitgeist. And wow. Yeah. Wow. Jack Photon's like in another room of his house and blah, blah, blah. Pamela Hemsley. What? No, we were just talking about co-stars on the horrible Buck Rogers in the 25th Century. We have a Mr. Sub, and I'm pretty sure it's a front. You know what is a front? Okay. Do you guys know this is a deep dive? I apologize for pulling you down the rabbit hole that you're gonna have to go down here with me. Her disco outfits and her belly button, you know it. Front 242, very, very good. You know, we're actually coming up on 1/1/2029, which is the opening lyric to Circling Overland by Front 242. It's a futuristic, cyberpunky kind of song, and they rattle off that date at the beginning. You don't care. I understand. You don't care. No. We're talking about subs. We're talking about Pam Hemsley. Oh, I got completely off track there. Terrible show that is a lot of fun with some great acting. Michael Ansara was good, but Michael Ansara is good in everything. Buck Rogers repeats were fronts, right? Fronts, false fronts. Thank you, Bob Jester. Thank you. Mattress Firm. If you're in a medium-sized city, anywhere on this side of the Mississippi, maybe even the other side of the Mississippi. No, Front 242 was industrial, Gonzalo. Front 242 was industrial. Look up Mattress Firm. Look at how many mattress firms are in your city. Nobody's buying that many mattresses. There are more mattress firms, I would wager, than there are car lots. If you're talking about like a city the size of Birmingham, Alabama, Orlando, Florida. Now, everybody talks about Orlando being a big town. It's not. Orlando proper is fairly small. It's a few 100,000 people. When you start getting out into Orange County, Seminole County, Brevard County, Lake County, then you start to get up in the millions, but those are literally other towns. But mattress shops are bananas. I didn't think about this until I went down this rabbit hole. The main drag, Colonial Drive, that cuts through the center of Orlando, Surface Road, the main drag has 4 mattress stores within walking distance of each other. Well, anything's within walking distance depending on how far you want to walk. But I'm talking like a couple of them are within like a mile. And they are Mattress Firm stores. I want to make that clear. This is not like, Mattress Firm and Mattress Land, Mattress World and the Mattress Outlet. No. Same stores. Something's going on. Well, you need a mattress every night, 365 mattresses per person per year. I can't argue with that logic. I'm sorry. That I don't care what your political stance is. That shit's hilarious right there. With the U.S. aid going down, we'll see just how many mattress firms are left in Q2 of 2025. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was funny. That was hilarious. Mattress Firm. Yeah, but they had Jimmy Page playing for them. I understood that joke, Joe Kaufman. There's always money. Well, how much can a banana cost? $20? Oh, goodness. So we're probably going to go to the bottom of the hour. It seems like some folks missed us there. But if you guys have got any questions or comments or anything about the Kickstarter for these guys, the Dark Greek Myths RPG. Let me. Did I mess up and close that? Oh no, there it is. Immortals, Hubris, and Glory. If you guys want to discuss that, we've got a good 15 minutes left. Yes, they do have a free quick. You know what? Let's take a quick gander at it. You never know. They might stroll in. Let's download the quick start. 1, you lock the quick start. 2, you bait the line. I click the download, and then it says, click here to download. Oh, I gotta enter my email address. Enter your email address and start the download. Fine. All right, let's. So I was talking to Tim Imholt about this, and I love having Tim on the show and talking to Tim about stuff. I am absolutely 100%. What is the name of the gargoyle on the player's handbook? FMCS Recon. That is not a gargoyle. That is a statue of Balzabal. That is a statue of Balzabal. Some people say it's Moloch. And I'm talking about the actual AD&D pantheons. It looks a little bit more the part of Moloch, but it could be Balzabal. But that is what it is. Now, it shows up in two places in AD&D modules. It is originally in S4, The Lost Caverns of Sojkoth, and there are no illustrations. You have to look this up. But there is an even closer approximation of it by description in L3, Deep Dwarven Delve. An email has been sent. All right, let's see. You guys are making it hard for me to get this. It's like I gotta do work. All right, here we go. All right, so here we go. That's a 57-page Kickstart, quick start, guys. I mean, 50 to me, to my old school self, 57 pages is pretty big. Radioactive Mattress sounds like a great name for a band. I like it. That's like that is a band I'd go to a club to see back in 1989. All right, so who's up tonight? It's like a 300-person club. Who's performing tonight? We have Radioactive Mattress, Wall of Voodoo, and Love and Rockets. That's who's performing tonight. And you're gonna go, and it's gonna be one of the best shows. You're gonna remember it forever. until like 1992 rolls around, and then you've completely forgotten about it. And you don't even think about it ever again until you hit 50. Dungeon Minister, man, you are. All right. So yeah, let's take a quick gander at this. Let's take a quick gander at the quick start for the next 15 minutes. And let's see, where is it? It is in. Oh, nope, that's not it. That's not it. Goodness gracious, there it is. Okay, so here we go. Immortals, I can't say that. Beta testing, quick start guide, what you need to play. I'm going to go out on a limb and say some dice, pencil, and paper. Character creation, that's only a single page. That's good. The races, humans, Hephaestasians, probably dwarves, could be wrong. Nymphs, now you're talking. Satyrs, oh my. Centaurs and Tartarians. Hope those venues don't have any UV light. Yeah, you don't want any venue from the 80s to do that. Pea Stain Mattress is a Nirvana cover band. Electric Celery. Athanatoi. Athanatoi. Okay, thank you, Bob Jester. See, we learned stuff. Classes and archetypes: fighter, ranger, rogue, thief, bard, barbarian, magus, and cleric. I love that they're saying cleric. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart to you guys over there, thank you for saying cleric and magus. You know, that is closer to cleric and magic user. You know, it's like, look, that is beautiful. 7 classes. We don't have to go crazy with it. Core mechanics overview. I mean, this seems fairly lightweight. And we have a pack-in adventure with it. Let's scroll down a little bit and look at character creation. Hysterophemia comes from the Greek words hystera, which means later, the word pheme, which means fame. In ancient Greece, immortality was only the prerogative of the gods and a few other minor exceptions. However, this does not mean that common mortals were not after it. Mortals had only one way to pass into immortality, and that was through their deeds, the name they would leave behind, and how important those deeds would be so that they would be remembered and recalled after their time. You know, that brings to mind, if they change rogue back to thief, exactly. Jackson, down at the Kerouac, they do a psychedelic show. Absolutely, in the late 1980s, no later than 1991, but at least until then, I could see clubs in Orlando like the Kerouac. I could absolutely see that. Anyway, I'm sorry. Just kind of babbling. Anyway, so it talks about becoming an immortal, the Olympian gods and titans, Mother Gaia, Father Uranus, under the leadership of Kronos. Kronos, master of all time. Again, 2 points to you if you know that reference. And then Zeus, the Thunderer, rebelled. He stopped his daddy from eating him. And let's go what you need. A set of polyhedral dice, paper, and a game master. Y'all should have said pencils, but I'll let it go this time. 6 races, 6 playable races. Human. That's some good-looking art. I like it. Hephaestation. The forge-born creations of the blacksmith god. Yeah, I think we're looking at dwarves here. Maybe not necessarily then, because she's no runty beard having. She knows what she wants and she knows how to make it. Nymph. Go on. A race of beautiful human-looking nature dwellers who inhabit the remote and distant corners. I think we're kind of picking up an elf vibe from the nymphs. They possess a slew of exotic powers, their kinship with the natural world. Yes. Yes. So if you're familiar so far, setting aside, I thought, okay, with the Hephaestation, they're going for dwarves. But setting aside that, I think, we've got like an elf kind of race in humans. And I like the fact that I was caught off guard by the Hephaestations and that it wasn't just, okay, they're just rebanded dwarves. Be well, Squirrel Hermit. Um, there's no great invention from fire to flying which has not been hailed as an insult to some god, Daedalus. So they're known as the Forge-born. They're creations of the blacksmith god Hephaestus. They have a humanoid build with dark red-brown skin and light red hair, which grows darker as they age. Oh, would that mine did. Their veins have magma instead of blood, and their touch is abnormally hot. Go on. As if they are feverish. Apart from these features, Hephaestations are otherwise similar in appearance to humans. Okay, so not dwarves. Thank you. Thank you so much. They're descended from Pandora, who was born out of clay and magma in the forge of Hephaestus on Olympus. She came about by the command of Zeus as punishment for see, it's what you you didn't want them to be cold, eh? I'll show you. So, and of course, we know what happened to Pandora, not in the the movies with the blue cat people. Now. Dungeon Minister, good night to you, sir. Have a wonderful evening. But we see that they have also adventuring goals. Roaming the world and discovering new crafts and techniques is encouraged in the Hephaestasian lifestyle. However, leaving the comfort of one's guild and the tutelage of one's master to pursue curiosities and discover wonders is a daunting notion. Hephaestasians tend to utilize their craft's knowledge and adapt it to other skills as they acclimate into the adventurer's life. Many become warriors, others follow a more scholarly route, a few tap into innate gifts of magic. Adventuring may come at any stage of a Hephaestation's life, but usually they depart towards the unknown during and after their apprenticeship. And there again, we have a lovely piece of artwork. You can see she has the magma flowing through her veins. Good stuff. So we have the nymphs. Again, a lovely piece of artwork. They have nymphs of the sea, naiads, oreads, nymphs of the mountains, dryads, nymphs of the forest, epimeliads, nymphs of the meadows. They're always aware of when their sanctuary is in danger, no matter how far away she may be from it for whatever reason. Regardless of their various subcategories, nymphs possess certain universal traits, including ethereal beauty, extremely long lifespans, and an affinity with nature. From a technical standpoint, they can be regarded as deities, albeit very minor ones. Yeah, I think we can figure out who's going to end up playing those, right? The power gaming people is what I mean. They're descended from titans or the result of other divine unions. A select powerful few are even worshipped as protectors of certain sacred areas, which are, in truth, nothing but their sanctuary. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Tell me, guys, doesn't this slightly remind you a little bit of Savo's artwork? At Feifel the Twit over on Twitter. Kind of does, just a little bit. Satyrs are pneumata, spiritual beings that have an assumed material form that resembles a mix between a man and a goat. Most satyrs have human bodies and goat legs, though it isn't unheard of for satyrs to have human legs. Their facial features are savage and fey, strongly reminiscent of a goat, with prominent chins, bushy beards, large, sharp ears, squat noses, and beady eyes. 1BDI. Again, points for you if you get that. The goat. Dances with Smurfs. Yes. Yes. Um, there you go. So, dungeon masters, don't be afraid to throw traps at this guy. Whatever gets your goat. Centaur. Do I really need to tell you what a centaur is, guys? Centaur. Tartarian. Okay, so are humans whose bloodline contains traces of the influence of the Titans, the predecessors of the Olympians, tall, gray-skinned, and either eerily beautiful or off-putting. There is something uncanny about Tartarians which inspires fascination and fear among common folk. Oh yeah, yeah, that's creeping folks out right there. So I have classes. Classes and archetypes. The classes in Immortals follow certain rules. You choose not only a class, but an archetype. Some archetypes are racial bound, meaning only specific races gain access to certain archetypes, but every class has at least one universal archetype that all races have access to. That speaks to me as an old schooler. Class being restricted by race. I like that. I like that a lot. So under fighter, we have hoplites, the professional soldier. They're universal. Spartan warriors, humans, Tartarians, and Hephaestasians. Warriors trained their whole lives for war using the heat of battle to their advantage. I can see where Hephaestasians would get in that heat of battle thing. Myrmidons, legendary warriors of Achilles, agile and lethal. These lethal? Lethal. I'm going to have to think about this one a second. Lethal. These soldiers focus on blitz attacks through maneuvers. The Myrmidon in the back said everyone attack, and it turned into a Greek time blitz. So yeah, only centaurs can be aggressors. Humans, Hephaestasians, and Tartarians can be Spartan warriors or of the sacred band, Spartan warriors are of the sacred band. But only humans and nymphs can be Myrmidons. I like this. This is really cool. This is really, really cool. I like the fact that there are class race restrictions. I do. That speaks to me. I wish the creators were here. I would thank them for that. Rangers, you get Amazons, the mythic women of Themyscira and Gagarian men, blessed by the gifts of Artemis the Huntress. That's universal. I'd like to see Ranger kind of expanded out a little bit and limited a little bit more in the racial restrictions. Rogue is really, really, really cut down. And again, I like that. You do get Thespian and Order of Leth as universal, but bam, sin on, unseen even by the gods. These rogues can commit acts of hubris and get away with it. Only Tartarians can be that. Themyscira. Then you got bards, you get rhapsody. Okay, so anything can be a rhapsody or a Homeric disciple. And rhapsodies are performers of great works of poetry, masters of showmanship and dramatic flair. Their words tap into magic of music and stir the hearts of their audience. Homeric disciple, poets, students of the Homeric school of poetry, weaving their own epic poem from the adventures of their groups. I am liking this more and more. I could see myself running this at the Guac. I'm not kidding. I mean, clearly the creators aren't here for me to blow sunshine up their hindquarters. So when I say I would run this, I mean that. You know, I'm not bucking for any extra points there. Gargarian and not Tarascovian. I see what you did there, Jorge. I see what you did there. And then Magus, we have Lexosophis. I cannot begin to pronounce that. Nyktipolos. So I think we do basically have types of magic users here. And then we have clerics. Hieria, clergy devoted to the worship of the Olympians, blessed with divine favor through prayer, and oracles, born seers with a gift and curse of foresight. These holy people can see the machinations of the gods and mortals alike, and that's universal. Bob, why can't you be there? Take your phone with you anywhere. And of course, like 5e, it does not go bonkers with skills, which I like a lot. Guys, there's a bunch to like about this. There is absolutely a bunch to like about this. And I know, obviously, things didn't work out, apparently, with the creators being here, but I like this. I like this a lot. You get a break? You can game for an hour and stuff food in your face. No, I understand, Bob. Okay, well, guess what, guys? A little late to the party, but just as I was wrapping up, we have someone joining us right now, and now we can all talk about the cool stuff in this game. Let me get my headset on here. And welcome tonight's guest. I got this here. Hopefully, audio is 5x5. As we welcome from the IMMORTALS, Dark Fantasy TTRPG in ancient Greece. Everybody, please say hello to Spyros. Good evening, or good morning, as the case may be.
Hello, Bill.
How are you?
I'm fine. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Perfect. It's morning, early morning here.
It is early morning. Excellent. Or not excellent, as the case may be. But anyway, hey, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here this evening. We are we have actually had some fun. We opened up the quick start and looked through it. And I got to tell you something, my friend. I'm not just blowing sunshine here. The IMMORTALS, just the quick start set itself, I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, yeah, my name is Spyros. I am part of the IMMORTALS dev team. And about 10 or maybe less years ago, I fell in love with role-playing games. I, believe it or not, I started with the Dungeons and Dragons board game. Do you know it?
Okay. Yes, very familiar with.
Yeah, it was a late night. We had a weekend sleepover with a couple of friends, and they introduced me to the game. And then I asked, "Can we do more? Can we maybe role play during this?" And they said to me, "Yeah, there's a type for this kind of thing, RPGs, TTRPGs." And that was for me. I started with 3.5 D&D, moved on to Vampire, the Masquerade, Mage the Ascension, stuff like that.
Okay.
And now I just want to play everything I can get my hands on.
Just how you feel. You get bit by that bug, and you're just, 1940s detective and a giant robot, an astronaut fighting pirates in the 14th century. Just give it to me all. Just want to drink from the fire hose. I get it. And so, we before you got here, we did take a little bit of a look again at the quick start for the game, and I do want to talk about the Kickstarter. Um, but I've got to know. So, did you guys did did it come from your own tabletop campaign? Were you guys running basically the Immortals game? Were you crafting that as you were playing it? Was it your home campaign setting, and you said, "Hey, I think we've got something we can offer people here." Tell me a little bit about the genesis of the Immortals RPG.
Yeah, something like that. We started playing Soul Mist, one of our previous developments,
Okay.
and we wanted to explore that dark fantasy vibe. But as we were hanging around the living room one night, we said, "What about our mythology, our settings? What what would this vibe be here?" And we started discussing aspects of it, and you know, mythology beats
Mm-hmm.
from the Greek mythology, and one one thing brought another. We said a couple of keywords, and then Democritus, our head developer, said, "You know what? We need to make an RPG out of this. Sounds fun." And 2 years later, we said, "Okay, let's put it on Kickstarter." It
Right
was
on.
That's it.
Well, that's excellent, man. I mean, and you know that's some of the best stuff comes from
Yeah.
those places. And what
It,
you know, one of the things, and I was talking to folks about this. Now I understand that you came to D&D a little bit later, and I'm no spring chicken. Let me tell you, yeah, I've been around the track a couple times, but Greek mythology has found its way into Dungeons and Dragons since even before the beginning. We were talking about this on the show earlier, and um, probably the best adventure module. I realize that's a very subjective thing, right? But one of the best adventure modules for Dungeons and Dragons is Keep on the Borderlands, and right off the bat, you get three classic Greek mythological tropes in a standard dungeon crawl. There's a Minotaur, he's in a labyrinth, and elsewhere in the dungeon, there's a Medusa. I mean, written into the DNA of D&D are Greek mythological touches. Gary put that very clearly right in there. I mean, what is the labyrinth of Crete but a giant dungeon, right, with one very seriously
yeah,
bad
exactly.
monster in it. So it is part and parcel to a lot of us who play D&D the Greek mythology is bound up in that. But you guys, you've baked your whole home campaign into Immortals. Um, did you did you find yourself having to consciously jettison some of the more central and northern Western European fantasy traditions when you were working on this, or did it just kind of flow naturally? Like, hey, this is what we want to do. If that finds its way in, that's up to the individual DM. How did you approach that?
Fun fact: this was a talk we actually had, that
Okay.
we need to select what we want to keep and how to project the D&D vibe without being too medieval.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Actually, yeah, D&D is very inspired from our mythology too.
Oh yes.
Contrary to our belief up to that point. And one of the main characteristics was the inn, the tavern, where
Mm-hmm.
you get your quests, where you
Right.
gather with your party. And we had a similar thing here in ancient Greece. We called it a capillion, and this is the starting point where we started changing the vibe.
Mhm.
How it was different from the medieval times. What were they eating? How were their bards? And here you go, you have a class. You have a bard. And
Nice.
the bard was a rhapsode, one who spoke of tales of heroes. And who would be there? There would be other heroes or aspiring heroes, maybe fighters, maybe Spartan warriors, Myrmidons, who wanted to be like Achilles. And then you have two other classes. So stuff like that. And then it was a matter of technology. The best armor you have is a bronze armor. You don't
Mhm.
have alloys or more intricate metals. Your swords are a bit weaker, yet we have to transform them mechanically to fit uh, to fit the role playing, the TTRPG vibe and combat mechanics.
Mhm.
Um, we can't have too much magic, but we want magic. It was a struggle in some parts, but that put us uh, through a series of research to discover our own mythology,
Mhm.
and we we actually had some we actually had some pretty neat stuff that was available in medieval times.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, yeah, as we were looking at the quick start, I noticed the bard classes, and you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm just getting up to speed on this now. Now, classic advanced Dungeons and Dragons from back in the day, of course, we had deities and demigods and gods, demigods, and heroes that featured Greek myths in a nice, easy to digest section, and then the monsters and some magic items and that sort of thing. But a lot of the lingo, yeah, please be patient with me on that. So if I stumble over some of the more melodious Greek words with my mush mouth, I apologize in
We
advance.
stumble upon them too.
So yeah, I mean, just looking at things like the bards, and I have to say, to harken back to this. Now, I don't know how much Risa may have warned you about me. We're kind of grognards around here, It's D&D from the 70s, and so on. But I was so pleased to see in the playtest, or rather in the quick start. I'm sorry, in the quick start. I keep saying playtest. In the quick start, that you have classes that are defined by the races that can play them, because that was a
Yeah,
component of classic Dungeons and Dragons, and people got it up into their heads. Why can't my halfling be a paladin? Why can't my dark elf be be a bard, and so on and etc. And I'm like, guys, you're really kind of, your focus is kind of really getting all over the place. So to see a new game that takes the idea of, you know, only as a centaur can you do this. Only as as a naiad can you do the other. I like that, sir. That is two thumbs up. I really like that idea.
that's actually Democritus, our veteran dev, because I'm just a Padawan, and well, when I first saw it in Solmist, I said that's pretty neat. That's your idea, no, my friend, he said. This is the way it's supposed to be, and
And
yes,
it
we adopted it
really,
here.
yeah, it really does. It makes you think about how your character is going to begin and where they're going to end up, rather than just, I'll just spin the wheel and wherever it stops, and then I'll just spin it again and wherever it stops. And hey, look, I've got a half man, half elephant, paladin, cleric, assassin. It's like, come on, let's get a little more structure in there, right? And
Yeah,
I like what you guys are doing with the classes. It is open enough so that if you really, really, really wanted to play, say, one of the Forgeborn, that you have options to be to many of the classes. But on the flip side, you have to think about it. You can't just, blindly stick your hand in and come up with a handful of stuff. And I really, really like what I have seen in the quick start rules. So from me and from a lot of my audience, thank you.
You're welcome. One thing I want to say about it is that at the start we said that it might be a little too strict for the players, because 5e players are used to be able to have every option available for a race and every option available for a class and combine them. And we focused on something that actually kept our first idea to have some racial restrictions, and that is to put more into the races. Your racial selection actually defines your character in more ways than your actual 5e character creation. It provides more options, more mechanics.
I like that a lot. You and I, we need to go on a speaking tour, an internet speaking tour, to explain this to 5e players, that it is actually a good thing to have some rails on stuff,
I agree. Actually, we need to play, Bill.
Hey, I have absolutely. I was telling the group I do a virtual convention every spring. Been doing it for 4 years now, and just flipping through the quick start tonight, I said to the group, I said, guys, I may run this. I am strongly considering running this at our virtual convention, the Great Underground Online Gaming Con, this coming May. This RPG speaks to me. It really does. I'm
glad to hear that. I'm very honored.
And there's one thing I do. I'm going to pop this up on screen here. I'm sure you've seen it backstage and wonder what the hell is he doing with a mouse. Your artwork in this book is sumptuous. Tell us about the art creation in this. I know that seems like a very pat question, but honestly, this stuff is gorgeous.
This is from the epic Mikhail Palamarchuk. We had a blast working with him, and some of the art, I think it's not all of it here in the Quickster. It's mostly for the Underworld. It's from Nina Vidra. The artwork was really amazing. We were hanging in the office, brainstorming ideas, and each of us devised a scene to explain a concept, and then we wrote these scenes down, and we said, okay, give it to the artist. We need to have this. We need to have this illustrated now. What's your favorite one?
You know what? I know. I know this seems a little. I love this work right here on. I'm not sure if you've got your screen up there, but I absolutely adore the Hydra that they're fighting on the cover here. This is this is a wonderful piece, and also the character portraits. The character portraits are really special. And they seem simple, yet once you get a human, we get it, a human, and then bam, you get this one from the Hephaestations, and that glow, the way those colors pop with the molten blood in her veins, and then the ethereal beauty of the nymphs. It just goes on and on. I love these character portraits. This is excellent. Please pass that on to your artist. That is excellent stuff there.
There is an Easter egg there, actually, because
there's an Easter egg here. So all right, spoil it for us. There's a good chunk of folks watching it, but
well, the human might seem simple, and that's intentional, because you in this game, you want to be an immortal, you want to be remembered, and you must feel like a simple human who achieves something greater. The others are touched by the divine already a bit, but humans are mere mortals, completely mortals, that will, perhaps, achieve immortality. And that was the vibe here. We wanted a simple, plain human, not someone who looks like a hero from the start. And to me, at least, and the other two devs, you need to struggle just a bit for it to be sweet in the end when you achieve your goals. And
Yeah,
I think that gives the vibe.
that is absolutely the mindset. I feel that so much of modern fantasy, and let's be honest, we're talking about Dungeons and Dragons when we say modern fantasy. 5e and I guess 6th edition is rolling out now is so front loaded. It's like right out of the gate. I have, a half dozen spells, 70 hit points, plus I get 3 death saves. I'm, I'm touched by the gods. I have I have a sword that can cut a boulder in half and stay razor sharp, and my strength is 25, and it just goes on and on and on and on like that. And where I'm coming from, and where a lot of my audience is coming from with regard to the to the old school, not just rules but mindset, really, you know there's an idea of working up to something. It's much sweeter when you get to that point. It's like, if you eat ice cream for supper every night, is it really special anymore?
Exactly.
And so I like the idea that you can come into the game as a plain Jane human with the idea of scaling Mount Olympus one day. Whether literally or metaphorically, that you can tip at the thrones of the gods and start just as a plain human, but it's going to be a hard row to hoe. I love it. And the fact that you play into the art with it, that's even better. That's even better. And I really like that.
And that will make it worth it in the end
Yeah,
when you achieve your goals.
absolutely. A couple of questions have popped up. I just
Yeah.
want to I just want to see here. This is getting into the nuts and bolts of the Kickstarter, but that's fine. So Bob is asking, with 8 days left in the campaign, when does it fulfill? That is, get sent out and shipped and arrived.
Well, as per all of our projects, we say uh, that we will take maximum a year to finish the development and deliver it.
Okay.
But with this one, we aim to jump right into work as we did while the campaign was out, and deliver it as soon as we can. For
Okay.
now, the deadline is April of the next year,
Okay.
but we aim to just dive into it and deliver it as fast as we can.
Okay.
Maybe,
Okay.
maybe even a lot faster than that.
All right. Well, there's your answer. And one other question from Bob. He asks, where is it being printed? Now he said, I assume not in the U.S. and how much will shipping cost? I Again, that's a nuts and bolts thing, but you tell us.
It is being developed, I think, in a factory in, I think, China and maybe in Europe. I'm not sure about that. And the the shipping costs are listed. The approximate shipping costs are listed on the Kickstarter. I don't know them by heart,
Okay.
and we try to keep them as low as possible.
Okay.
And that's why we are rushing to dive into work to finish the development so we can deliver it uh, before they inflate again or something like that.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, things are in flux right now with shipping and tariffs right now. So, I completely get that. Um, let's take a quick gander at the Kickstarter here. And I have shared that there is a link, guys, in the description down below. You can check that out if if you want to follow along as you like. We were looking at the as a gorgeous looking set, by the way. The map, the dice, a lovely box set. The slipcase really speaks to me. Now, are those A4 books, or are those smaller digest size books?
No, that's A4 book.
Wow, wow, that is a honking huge box set. I like that. Um, so I want to jump down here, not to be rude, but I want to take a quick look. So you guys have unlocked a new druid subclass.
Yeah.
10 unique monsters, it looks like here. Virtual tabletop support, that's a very big thing these days. So you guys are just blowing through all these great goals. So
And we are very thankful for that to our backers. It's been amazing.
right on, man. So really, we've got a new adventure and some bookmarks, guys. So get out there. There's 8 days left. I think I can probably do better than that. There's 8 days left on this, folks. So you can. Did that bring me back up there? Oh my gosh! There we go. I've used a computer before, Spyros. I promise. I promise. Once or twice.
Where do you want to go?
Well, I was just kind of looking around. Well, let's talk a little bit about. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm just a sucker for this sort of stuff. Some of the cool stuff you get with the set kind of describe some of this stuff to us, so we can maybe I can actually get to where I'm going. I wanted to look at like the contents of the slipcase and whatnot. Where is it?
You're talking about the wooden slipcase and
yeah,
the
the
normal
wooden
one? Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, the wooden slipcase. I'm gonna slide this back here real quick while I'm not fumbling around with it.
Yeah, that one is made. Designed, handcrafted by Kokos Arts here in Greece, in Crete, actually, where our HQ is. And he's an amazing guy. He was with us from the start, and he just popped up, delivered the design to our office, and said, "Here is it. Here it is." And I said, "What's that, mate? We didn't even ask for it." No. This is this is for Immortals. And we said we were in awe, and we said, "Yeah, this is for Immortals." It's made of wood. It's
wow.
strong. It's durable. It's amazing to hold it and have it in your bookcase. I took the prototype with me to photograph it and 3D scan it for the campaign, and I just didn't want to give it back.
Oh, I can imagine. I mean, we wax poetic about the original D&D sets from '74, like the first run of like 1,500 were they were in cardboard boxes, but they had a wood grain shelf paper outer cover. Guys, this is actual wood. this is real physical wood. That is that is beautiful. And of course, you've got a dice set going here. Are those bespoke, or did you find a vendor that dealt the spiky dice to you guys?
This is from another Kickstarter project from a company named Emberforge.
Okay.
We've used these dice before in Soul Mist, and we had it as an extra add-on back then, and people just loved it, and we've included it with this one too.
Right on.
We have our own dice set, and our own design. We have scatter die,
Mm-hmm.
and a set for the magic users, for the spellcasters, because they're gonna need a lot of d6s. The magic is different here. Have you read it?
I started looking at it and then you popped on. So
Yeah.
I know your magic system's a little different, and I do wanna dive into that. But the dice are gorgeous. The goodies in the set are really lovely. I quite like those.
Oh,
We do have a question from Jorge. He asks, will it be possible to add items after the campaign finishes? That is, different tiers. I've done that with, when I bought in Kickstarters in the past, been like, yeah, that was nice, but I think I would like to add this too. So can folks do that?
yeah, of course, of course. When you gain access to the backer kit, you can add more stuff, more add-ons, and after the whole campaign is over, some of the items will also be available on our website.
Excellent, excellent. So, I don't know if you could. I'll put that back up there in a quick second. But Spyros, I have a problem. I have an addiction. I have shelves of miniatures over here. So, and I need more miniatures. Like I need a hole in the head. But I'm
I
gonna
know, I
ask you
know.
anyway. You have a wall of shame too,
I
Spyros.
have a wall of shame, and it
Yeah.
started with Lord of the Rings miniatures.
The GW.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I have some from like 2000 and 2001 that are still sitting there patiently staring at me. It's like, you could paint
Yeah,
us,
yeah, yeah.
if you're bored, you could paint us. But I completely get it.
I still have
Uh
an unpainted Balrog in my house, and
um
it pains me every time.
I get it. I get it. So uh again, because I need more unpainted miniatures, like I need a hole in the head. Down the road, are you guys thinking about a miniatures line?
We are thinking about miniatures. We didn't include any in the Kickstarter this time. We are not sure when, but we are looking into it. We want some designs. We want a Hydra. We want a Minotaur. We want Cerberus. But this is something to fully
Sure.
explore after the campaign.
Sure, exactly. Get the house built, then you start thinking about the appliances.
Yeah, yeah.
That's absolutely understood. So let's kind of come back around and talk a little bit more about those mechanics. I need to bear with me just a second here. Um, let's see. Uh, let's talk a little bit if we can, and I'm gonna. Unfortunately, sometimes StreamYard can be a little unwieldy, so I've got to remove and re-add things, and for folks to look at. So let me see. Quick start. There it is. Okay. Um, let's talk a little bit about that magic system. Do we have that in the quick start that we can get our feet wet with?
Yeah,
With a
we
magic
provide some
system.
explanation just after the races before the.
Okay. All right. Let's check this out. I've got it embedded in my browser because I'm terribly lazy, so I don't have my bookmarks up, and you'll have to pardon me. Um, and while I'm scrolling down here to this, by the way, I just want to extend this to you and your whole crew. The Great Underground Online Gaming Convention, and yes, that spells guac. So if you like guacamole, just think of that. But the guac, as we call it around these parts, it is free and it is open to folks from all time zones. So if you and your crew want to get in on that, let me know and I'll send you links. And if you all want to run demos of this, please feel free. The cost is exactly zero for it if you'd like to do that.
Of course. Do send us.
But anyway, so let's get into the magic system. Kind of scrolling down here. Um, And I can't wait to talk about that hubris, hubris system. Magic and special abilities. Here we go. Okay, so I'm a magic user in this game. What am I looking at here?
Well, to answer before any questions pop up, yes, there will be a guide to convert our magic system to the original 5e magic system.
Okay.
But we wanted a different approach in this one. We all had difficulties with spell slots because we were running in dungeons. We would run out of spells, and then what? You could see a wizard carrying swords and bows, and that was just unacceptable in our hearts.
Sure.
So we wanted something to buff, if you want, the spellcasters, but also to approach this magic system in the way the Greeks saw it.
Okay.
And it was limited to just a few, yet it was very powerful for those few that could wield it. So the basics of the magic system is that you have a roll to keep system. You have a primary spellcasting attribute, which defines how many dice you roll, and the secondary attribute which defines how many dice you keep from those you rolled. And each spell has a spell difficulty, a spell DC to be cast, and that's actually pretty much the spell's level, if you want.
Right.
You don't have spell slots, but you need to meet that difficulty in order to cast the spell. And you have unlimited spells during the day, but you might fail some.
Okay.
That's the gist, actually.
That actually seems on the face of it fairly simple. Now, are there spell fumbles, if you will, spell backfires?
Yeah. Well, one main backfire could be that as you try to cast more difficult spells, let's speak with levels, higher level spells, for example. You're actually changing reality.
Mm-hmm.
A mage can cast a wish spell and bend reality to their will. And our gods, well, they are jealous gods, and this power should only reside with them. And you gain what we explain as hubris. You cast a spell and you gain hubris, a high level spell. Another effect is that if you fail, this is again in the medium range to high level spells. You have some backfire if you fail, because you're trying to meddle with forces that you cannot actually comprehend.
Okay. Okay, so you can now is it up to the game master to decide what those negative effects are? How is that mapped out? You know, if I you know I want to make a cloud we can ride on, and no, that doesn't work. What happens then? Game master's decision or what?
Should a spell explicitly say that if you do that, if you fail, you get this? Again, it's up to the game master to decide, but it's very straightforward. If you fail, this happens. In higher levels, when you acquire hubris through casting spells, you rise in the hubris level ladder, and as you rise, you are visited by, let's call them spirits, deity spirits, from guilt and demigods that want to punish you for what you did. And we have some tables that the game master can get inspired from.
Okay.
Uh, we have some guidelines, but it's guidelines. It's always guidelines. We want the game master to have freedom, but we also do have rails, as you said, if you want to play it like that.
Right on. Right on. So,
Some of it is actually explained in the quick start. The
okay.
nemesis, the thesis, these punishments.
Oh, speaking of things in your world, I have to ask you this. This is gonna sound silly. Oh, a quick start adventure. I don't want to spoil it. Don't want to spoil it. But this is a silly question, but I want to. It is anywhere like as an item that characters can have. Does the Ankytheria? I just murdered that. I warned you I would do that. The mechanical computer
The
that they
anti-Kithra
found.
mechanism, yeah,
Yes. Does that show up in the game? Can you put that in the game?
certainly, yeah. We are gonna put that in the game.
Good. I love that thing. I think that is one of the most fascinating things from the ancient world. You know, and you stop and think like the Romans had a steam engine, the Greeks had a computer, the Mesopotamians had batteries. Like if you guys had just gotten together, we could have like gone to the moon by the year 1000.
Exactly. Well, we are not aiming for very high-tech stuff, but
Right, right. We're not going steampunk.
we have the very crafty Hephaestians, the Forgeborn,
Hmm.
and they are usually the inventors of very cool stuff.
I like them. I like the Forgeborn. And you guys like when I was like, oh, the Forgeborn. Okay, Hephaestasians. I get it. Dwarves. You guys have got dwarves in there. No, no, you threw me for a curve there. You know, they're not dwarves. They're very cool despite having molten blood. Character race to play there. Um, I just I like the vibe of this thing. Whether you guys set out to do this on purpose or it was a happy accident, I love how old school this game feels. Damn it, I just do like the game. And I want to ask you something. It's a little. I know it's what it's like 4 in the morning where you're at 5 in the morning. Um, do we have time? And I completely understand if we want to wait till to the guac. Uh, do we have time to like gen up a character real quick?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Okay, all right. Let's do it. I actually have some dice that I can throw right on the screen. I'll need to. We'll do this, and then I'll get my dice tray out here because the audience loves seeing the dice tray. Let me. Where did I put my dice tray? Here we go. Let's see if it's working. Throw a couple of D10. I said throw a couple of D10. Yep, there it is. Okay. All right. So take me through basic character generation.
Right away. So, first of all, what's your race?
You know what? I was just talking about it. Let's do a Hephaestation.
Perfect, a Hephaestian. So,
I
these
told you
guys.
I told you I'd wreck those names. I'm sorry.
Oh, this is a good feedback because we need to maybe adjust the pronunciation of them in the books. So, Hephaestians. These
Okay.
these people are born of coal and magma. Uh, Descendants of Pandora, the first Hephaestian in our mythology, and created by god Hephaestus.
Okay.
So, first of all, uh, your ability scores.
Alrighty. Now is this the standard the array of 3d6 or 4d6 discard lowest or strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity and so on?
Yeah. But
Okay.
we usually use the point buy system.
Okay.
But you can roll the dice; it's always more fun.
You know what? I'm gonna go as Gary would have it. I'm gonna do 4d6
And keep 3.
discard. Yes, 4d6. So what do we got? That doesn't work very well because the virtual dice stack up. So oh, 6 and
Nice.
6, and our next two dice, a 2 and a 2. All right. So let's do then. We have strength 14. Intelligence. Always my strong suit, as I'm sure you can tell. All right, you're going to play nice now and show all the dice. You're going to pile up. You're going to pile up again. All right. All right. So a 5 and a 1. I think I found our discard. And 5, 2, and 4. So intelligence 11. My sometimes co-host on Wednesday night is an absolute old school guy. He is 3d6 down the line, no takesies, backsies. He would be appalled at this. Kyle, if you're watching, all right, 5 and a 2, and a 6 and a 2. So 5, 6, and 2. That's 13. That ain't bad.
Well, you can go for the 4.
And let's see.
And you can always jumble up the results. You don't have to marry them to the stats. You can move them around.
I know. So let's see. 4 and 3, and 5 and 5. So dexterity of 14, and constitution. Watch, I'm going to wind up with a constitution of 3. 1 and a 3, and all right. So constitution a 9, absolutely average. And last but not least, and folks, as I tell my audience all the time, charisma is not a dump stat. Never use charisma as a dump stat.
Yeah, exactly.
3
Social
and a
is
2.
as important as combat.
Oh yeah. A 3 and a 2, and a 4 and a 2. So 3, 4, and 2. That is 9. So here are my stats. Strength 14, intelligence 11, wisdom 13, dexterity 14, constitution and charisma both 9.
So you gain another point in constitution and in dexterity through your ability score increase from the Hephaestions.
All right, so
you are skilled artisans blessed with deft hands.
All right. Okay, so got my stats. Now let's look at classes. Since we don't have to roll any more dice, I will add this back. Let me do that. There we go.
Before you go to classes, you get a starting hubris of 1.
Ooh, okay. I shall attempt to be a humble adventuring Hephaestion. All right.
So you carry the curse of Pandora, and you start with a curse of hubris of 1, and you build your legacy by your hysterophemia, by building artifacts of splendor and tools that enable other heroes to achieve greatness, or maybe tools for yourself to achieve greatness. Your size is medium, speed is 30 feet. And
I'm sorry, size is medium, and that means what?
Your size is medium and your speed is 30 feet. And
speed, okay.
Your patron god is, of course, Hephaestus.
All right.
And you are also proficient with crafts.
Alrighty, that seems simple enough so far.
Oh, and another thing, before I forget.
Sure.
You are a Forgeborn, so you're blessed with Hephaestus gifts. You have a natural armor. and hard skin and magma in your veins. You have immunity to non-magical fire sources, and you get a +1 bonus to your armor class.
So natural armor, AC +1, and immune to non-magical fire. I'm digging it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Let's go, class.
let's go class. Okay. Now, as a professional loudmouth on the internet, I am leaning strongly towards Bard, but we'll see what we got when we get there. Did I blow past that?
No, we have
we're in sea travel. I think we want to go.
We have a short list of classes.
Okay.
We don't explain them much here.
All right. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah,
so, yeah, let's do a bard. Let's do a bard. Let's do a
Perfect.
Homeric disciple. Let's do a bard. I don't know. Maybe Rhapsody. I don't know. That's a tough one. Audience, what do you guys think? Homeric disciple or a Rhapsode? Which of those best suits? I'm gonna look at the others here real quick. All kidding aside, I mean the fighter is always a good choice. When in doubt, stab it with a sword. Let's see. I don't know. I'm leaning. I tell you what. I'm leaning hard towards the Rhapsody. So let's do that one. That's where my heart kind of drew me first. Yes, Jorge.
If you're a performer, I strongly advise to check out first thing when the book is out, The Rogues, the Thespians.
Okay.
So,
all right.
is it Homeric disciple?
Yeah. Under Rogue for Thespian. Wow. I don't know. Maybe, given that I start out with hubris of 1, maybe I should take a sin on. Oh no, that's only for Tartarians. Damn it! Somebody's building this awesome crap. Who is? I don't know, boss. Ooh, this is hard. That's good though. That's it's not like these are gimped, these are good. Only focus on these. That's something. I'm not going to name the games. Pathfinder. But there are RPGs where there are clearly broken classes that you should never take. But again, yeah, you know what? Enough shuffling my feet. We're going. Is it Rhapsody or Rhapsode? I'm sorry, I keep shifting back and forth.
It's Rhapsode, and the poems he writes are called Rhapsodies.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so we're going with a Rhapsode then. I'm a guy with molten metal in his veins and a heart of a poet. What can I say? All right, so I've got class, I've got stats, I've got my various boni for being having my race as it is. What, if anything, is next? Are there matters of starting equipment, starting funds to purchase equipment, anything like that?
We don't delve into that in the quick start, but we are devising a system of backgrounds. You select first of all the way we like to do it is to write a backstory first before before rolling any dice, before making any character, and just match our story to the character sheet. but we have options to select from. 3 backgrounds. We are thinking of a system. We've implemented it, but we're currently testing it. Of a racial background, a class background, and a personal background, which will give you equipment, some bonuses, and an idea of the vibe as how do you start adventuring this world. And my favorite ones are the personal backgrounds. You choose one of each, one personal, one racial, and one class. And my favorites are the personal. You can play as a noble, for example, in the Republic of Athens, a senator or something like that. You can play as a poor man or as a slave. You can play as a veteran soldier or a priest in a temple, or someone who is given as a gift to a temple, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is inspired from actual mythological stories from the mythology.
I like that. I like that. Now, there's something kind of overarching in the general vibe that you guys are putting forth, and I wanted to ask you about this because we actually kind of started talking about this when the live stream kicked off a while back, and that is for me as a gamer. When you say dark fantasy, my mind immediately goes someplace like, for example, this. I don't know if you played this one. If you haven't, I'm going to warn you. If you pick this up, it will eat you in the best possible way. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Don't associate it with 40K.
Yeah,
It's actually a good RPG back when Games Workshop cared. And it's a grim world of perilous adventure. I mean, this is bleak.
yeah,
This is a bleak RPG where it's like, well, you beat the goblin in the alley up, congratulations, but now you all have tetanus. It's just it's a crap sack world, as they say. So
sounds like my cup of tea.
well, I think that I think you can actually get this on Drive Through RPG. But anyway, so when you say dark fantasy, and this is something the audience and I were discussing, Greek myths are generally not happy things.
Yes.
It's like, help, I'm being attacked by this person. No problem, I'll turn you into a crab. Wait, how is this helping? Or
Well,
your husband did terrible things to me, and now I'm with one of his children. Ah, I see. Well, I'll just kill you then. Hang on, Hera. Just hold up a minute. I think you're getting mad at the wrong person. So again, Greek myths not being particularly happy stories. When you say dark fantasy, tell us a little bit about that.
I'm going to leave out some myths. Actually, the majority of myths where Zeus is involved, because he's a weird guy.
Yeah,
And
I'll get demonetized if we go too much
yeah,
into what Zeus
exactly.
did.
And I'm gonna go to Hercules.
Okay.
This myth is an inspiration of ours and portrays, I think, the whole vibe of the game. At some point, to break a curse from a poisoned tunic he was wearing, Hercules started to remove that tunic by ripping it apart, and that tunic was embedded to his skin, so he started ripping his flesh, his skin.
Mm.
So it has this level of gore and cunning behind curses and plots. But most of the dark fantasy aspect we're trying to portray is that it's the choices.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's how these gods are jealous. They're not the guardians of the light. They are not here to assist you into your everyday lives. I mean, not only that. Uh, these are gods with very human and sometimes toxic tendencies. And your choices might get them jealous. Your choices might make some of them happy and some of them angry at you, and dilemmas all around. Well, what are you going to do? Which trade-offs are the best, and how this will affect my psyche? How I will earn glory fast before I die because I'm immortal, but at the same time, doing it too fast might include me getting hubris, and this is the general vibe.
Okay.
The dilemmas I have to face. It's mostly a psychological dark fantasy theme, but with a lot of gore too.
Okay. So it's basically for people who understand Greek myths that they're not, it's not Disney's Hercules,
Ah,
folks.
no, 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 no.
It's not. It's the actual. And we were talking about that a little bit because, you know, uh, again, Greek deities have been detailed in extremis in Dungeons and Dragons books, going all the way back to the beginning of D&D, as part of the let's just put all fantasy stuff into D&D idea, which is of course wonderful in its own way. Um, but Jim Ward, who was a buddy of mine, God rest his soul, um, he's got now. You guys don't have an alignment system, lawful good, chaotic good, that sort of thing, do you? Or do you?
You can play with an alignment system, but we believe every person is in a gray area.
Okay, fair enough. Well, AD&D tends to hew more to the, the nine alignment, the alignment wheel, call it what you will. And Jim, when he wrote up the entries for the Greek gods, uh, like he notes that Aphrodite is chaotic good. Um, Chaotic, yes. Good, no. No, no, she's not. Well, she's the god of love and beauty, love of self more than anything.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, she's like, you don't want Aphrodite showing up saying, "Let me do something for you." You just, you know what, I'm fine. And we were joking about this. I think there's exactly one Greek myth with a happy ending, and that's Pygmalion. When she turns, rather than turning him into a statue, she turns the woman, the statue of her, into a woman, and that's literally the only one I can think of off the top of my head that where something doesn't go horrible for the for the subject of the gods' mercurial affections. So
Well, in the myth, she gives Helen to Paris and starts the Trojan War.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Here you go. Here's a bride. Also, thousands and thousands are going to die. But the yeah, yeah. So the dark fantasy. Then I guess it's kind of it's kind of from the it's just right from Greek myth because it's not happy stuff. You do stuff that attracts the gods' attention, it may not be what you want at all. So I like that. I rather like that quite a bit. Um, so I did see that one of your stretch goals, you hadn't hit it yet, but with 8 days left, the way you guys have been going, I think you're probably going to get there, if I may opine. But even if not, you guys are planning modules, right? Adventures and campaigns and that sort of thing.
Hopefully, if everything goes well, we aim to develop in future iterations
Mhm.
a campaign. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm looking for all of those, and I don't want to beat on this drum too hard. It just uh, but leaning a little bit more into the old school as we tend to around here. Um, we we like things that we can easily use in an AD&D game. And I will say this, and I think it's obvious on the face of it, to folks listening, watching, whether you're live in the audience right now or watching this tomorrow or something like that. Um, uh, Guys, this would be so easy to adapt to uh, whatever edition you're playing. I mean, basic D&D, original, first edition advanced, second edition advanced, third edition, or fifth edition. This fits all of the good versions of D&D. I think. I just think it's that flexible. You may take that as a compliment, if you will, Spyros. I mean it as one. Um, I feel like you've created a fairly universal approach to playing in a mythic Greek setting.
Thank you very
And
much.
I really like it. And I am serious. This is not a platitude. I really would like it, even if the times are such that you're playing with folks from Europe or from elsewhere in the world. I really would like it if you guys could run a session or two at the Guac. I'm going to try and run a session. I'm gonna crack my knuckles and sit down and give it a shot for the Eastern Standard Time, and hopefully, folks will find my game mastering cromulent, and I can do your system justice.
We would be honored. Do send us the links, and we're
Yes,
gonna do it.
absolutely. As just as quick as we're wrapped here, we will tackle that. So, oh gosh, is there anything that we haven't um and anything that you would like to talk about that I haven't hit on? Probably a million things because I tend to run my mouth. But please, the floor is yours, sir.
So, if there isn't a question to answer here, I would like to actually address something that I saw in various comments in Kickstarter, and
Okay.
I've already said that you start out as a mortal. You might be something like a demigod, something like a demigod, and that is a heavy word. But
Mhm.
nymphs are not of mortal origin,
Okay.
but they are still in the mortal league, if you want it. So you're not playing gods from the start. This is something you need to achieve. This is immortality is the goal here. How you will uh, how you will be remembered after your death. And that being said, a huge part of the game is the underworld. How will you experience this transition if your party decides to bring you back? How are they going to do that? And underworld is a setting on its own. It's a huge place. It's totally different from our world. It's even grimmer than ravaged Greece, Titan ravaged Greece. And this thing that death is not the end, and that you can solo play in the underworld, and then your party can come and get you. I think that's that's a third of the game. That's a huge chunk right there.
I like the idea of doing stuff in the afterlife before your party brings you back. I've tinkered with it a little bit in past campaigns. It's like, okay, well, they cast Ray's dead and you're back, and then I'll tell the player, hey, I'll be sending you some notes, email, or if you've got a few minutes, you tell me what you're doing because here's where your soul went. And I like that you guys are doing that. That you guys are building that. That sounds absolutely wonderful. Um,
No, the
and
difference here is that your party actually descends to the underworld to get you back. It's not
right.
a
It's not
it's
just
not a
cast a
raised dead.
spell
Yeah,
and you jump up. They got to go get you.
yeah.
they,
Go to
they,
another plane.
they got to go get you. So you get game masters get a whole new set of stuff to play with. Not
Exactly.
it's it's like, okay, well, I had you going to the hill to fight the the manticores or whatever. Now you got to go to hell. Go to hell, you guys. And I like that. I like that a lot. It seems like a really, really slick system, and I am very looking forward to trying this out with a group of players. So once it finishes, once you've got it done, perhaps after the convention, we're looking at May for that. Would you like to come back and talk some more?
We would be honored to do so.
All right. Oh well,
Just set the date.
Okay, I'll let you guys decide how much of an honor it is to be here. But usually when I'm talking about honor, it's yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor, not guilty, Your Honor, no contest, Your Honor, nice tie, Your Honor. But no, I kid. I would love to have you guys come back and we can talk about this, about about building it up, where you got to in the Kickstarter campaign stuff, and so on and etc. So, Spyros, thank you so much for stopping in this evening.
Thank you.
It has been an absolute gas.
Yeah, this was amazing.
Yeah, I wish I had I joke about this with guests, but I do wish I had a green room where you could go and get a T-shirt and a coffee mug and have some snacks. But alas, it's just the digital void. But I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
I'll slide you back here. Guys, be sure to check that out. It is linked in the discussion below. This has been an absolutely great show tonight. Had a lot of fun hanging out with you. She had the key to the Porsche, Your Honor. That's a good one too. But anyway, I'm gonna rock on out of here. I got a busy day tomorrow, and I absolutely, positively have got to keep my eyes peeled for those dreaded owl bears. Peace. Good night. Love you all.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere, in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair? Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle, way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.